like to introduce fellow mentor coordinator and former NFL wide receiver, number 87, LonZell Hill.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction there, Neil. Neil is actually a co-worker of mine now, he's actually awesome. We have a great time as a mentor and coordinator at the YMCA. Now, I heard the question. Somebody said, who is LonZell Hill? Who is LonZell Hill? You're right. LonZell Hill, I am a former NFL wide receiver, NFL starting wide receiver, who is now washed up. I'm a washed up receiver. And I'll tell you why I'm proud to say I'm washed up. Because in order to be washed up, a friend of mine said you had to be real funky at one time. So unless you can't be washed up if you wasn't funky. Am I right? Yes. So there's nobody in here who is a washed up NFL ball player except me. Okay? So if you are a washed up talent, that means you were a great talent at one point, correct? Yes, sir. So if ever somebody say that you were washed up, take that to heart. Because that's what they know who you were, they know what you did, and you did some great things. Okay? So what we're here to talk about is, Martin Luther King. A great, great, great presence, a great man, and in order to be that good and to still be talked about today and to still have your name in the lights and people to aspire to be what you've done and be who you are and all the great things, you have to have been a great individual. How many here has ever heard Martin Luther King speak? Because a lot of times you hear about this great Dr. Martin Luther King, I had a dream speech. And you have no idea what the speech was about. They say, well, our people laid the foundation for you. They went to war for you. They battled for you. You have no idea what they actually went through. But people have the expectation that you follow suit. People died so you can go to school. People died so you can eat that food. But unless you actually know, do a little homework, a little research, you won't understand. In my field, I also had a dream as a young man to play in the NFL, and I'll show you some things with that, and I'll share with you. But how will I know where I want to go unless I know? How will I know where I want to go unless I know? Sometimes we have no clue, but we want to get there. So I'm going to share a little something with you. I'm going to play a little Dr. Martin Luther King, and then I'm going to start within myself, and then we're all going to do some things together. Okay? And as I speak, I have this thing here. Anybody know what this thing here is called? This is a football. This was actually my dream. And I'll share it, you'll hear more about it, and we all have dreams. Some want to be doctors, some want to be lawyers, some want to be firemen, some want to be garbage men, some want to be a mailman. And one time somebody told me they wanted to be a garbage man, and I said, well, wow, why would you want to do that? He said, well, who else would pick up your trash? We need each and every individual. Every profession is important. The mailman, how else will we get that mail? Right? UPS, FedEx, whatever you name. The janitor is a profession because the janitor is who keeps this place clean. So we'll talk about all those things in your dreams. And if you cannot catch, raise your hand. If you cannot catch, raise your hand. All right. Just give me. Now, if you didn't raise your hand, I am not liable to what may happen. All right. So as we say that, and I want you guys to pay attention, and I'm going to put Dr. Martin Luther King up, and these are some photos of myself, guys that I played with, and these are guys that I'm proud to have went to war with. So I'm going to take that down, and I want you to hear what we're talking about with Dr. Martin Luther King.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country tears of thee." Sweet land of liberty of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom reign. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom reign. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom reign. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom reign. From the hiking Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom reign. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom reign. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom reign from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom reign from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom reign from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom reign, and when this happens, Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
So now, those of you who have not heard, you have now heard. Now I'm going to ask a few of you, if you're shy, if you would not like to participate, if you would not want to be a voice, let me see your hand. Okay, now that's great. Now, those who said, I can and I will, and I can and I will, I'm going to ask you, after hearing Dr. Martin Luther King, I knew I had a dream. His dream to my dream were totally different. I saw my father play, and I would put him up there. I thought he'd be on one of my pictures up there. There he is, right there, in the corner. See that? The man up there, in that top right-hand corner? Next to me, J.D. Hill, next to the man with the, next to me right there, that's my father. He played for the Buffalo Bills. So when I was growing up, that's what I knew. I knew my father who played in college. I knew my father who played in the National Football League. So my dream was to do so. I was 8 years old. I was sitting in my bed. My father came to me and he said, LonZell, I know your dream. But everybody cannot play in the National Football League. Everybody may not be a pro. At that point in time, I fell to my bed and cried. I cried so long and so hard, he left out the room, came back, set me down and said, I will never, ever in my life say you cannot do something again. I will never do that. There has been people in your lives who have said that there is something that you cannot do, but it is your dream to do so, whatever it may be. And I'll take you through 9th grade. After Pee Wee, played that. It was okay. I wasn't the fastest on my team. I probably wasn't the best athlete on my block. But I had a dream. My dream was to be in the NFL. So regardless of what you were saying, regardless of what you said, regardless of what you said, I was going to get there. There was individuals like who were in these type of programs. I was one. There were guys who were so-called better than I was who were not in those programs. They had other things they wanted to do. They wasn't committed to being here on Saturday. They had other things to do. So when it came down to it, we went up to college. First of all, let me hit high school. We went to high school. I was in the program. They had other things to do. So when it came time for scholarships to roll around, I was in the programs. I had the background. I had the dream. They was on the block. Chasing the girls. Chasing the boys. Not boys chasing boys, girls chasing girls. Young fella. Girls got dreams too, man. So we got to learn. I'm talking to the men and the women. I'm not just talking about the fellas.